button here, you can click that. You can use the shortcut of Control plus S. Or what you could do is that you could go in here and you could click the save button here also. So there are multiple options. It's a save file over here, or you save it here, or you press Control S. So let's say if I click in here, since this file is not saved, so it's going to ask me that how do you wish to save? So I'm saying that file name, I'm giving it that spreadsheet explanation. This is what I'm writing down the name of this file. How do you want to save it? Say Excel workbook. So for the time being, I would tell you that leave it as a blank. You have saved it now. So that is basically what, when you have got Control S, that is that you save the existing file. So whenever I do any change, what I could do is that I could just click on the save button, and so my changes, my amendments are actually going to be saved. There's at times something which is termed as save as. What is the save as? I can guide you with the save as. What do we mean by save as? For example, you want to save this file into another format. So you could say save as. It says Excel workbook, Excel in macro enabled workbook, other formats, etc., etc. That is something that you can save it as. Like for example, I'm gonna say save it as other formats, and I would say PDF if I could. Okay, the feature is not available in here with me. So you can save it in XYZ format. Now, there is another thing that we do with respect to save as function, which is I could say save as. And again, this is something up here. So I could say spreadsheet explanation 2. Now you see, here you could see the name of this file. Let's say, for example, this is a spreadsheet explanation 2, which is opened up right now. So what I'm going to do is that I would say, let's say I delete it here and I click save. If I close this file, I've closed this file. I'll close this file also. Now there is no Excel file that is opened up right now. Now I'm clicking the open button. If I'm opening up spreadsheet explanation 2, you would see that this specific row that I deleted, it's not here. Now I'm going to close it down. I'm going to open up this spreadsheet explanation, which was the first file. When I open up here, this is appearing here because I did not make any changes in this original file. So what you could do is that you could use the save as button. You could use the save as button to save a copy of file with another name or another format. So what you could do is that you could save a copy of the file with another name, or save a copy of the file with another format. That is something that you could do. Okay, so this is something that we have done right now with respect to the basic concepts of this spreadsheet. Now what we are going to do is that we're going to discuss further about the spreadsheet functions and etc., etc. So what I'll do is that whatever functions that I'll be teaching, I'll be writing down them here, and I'll be explaining to you each one of them, so that at the end of this session, what you have with you is that you have a complete file which actually lists down all of the functions that you have studied in here. Now, I've already told you that what a cell actually means. There is another concept that you need to understand, which is that the concept of worksheet. What is a worksheet? So basically, in order to understand the worksheet, you need to understand another thing which is called workbook. Now, this Excel file, which is called a spreadsheet explanation, it is a complete workbook which has got sheet 1, which has got sheet 2, which has got sheet 3. I can add more sheets here, 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 here. If I click on this button, it actually inserts a worksheet. So what is the workbook? The workbook is basically what? Workbook is a complete file with multiple worksheets. And what is a worksheet? A worksheet is a sheet under a workbook. So you understand these things, which is one of them is a workbook and the other one of them is a worksheet. What is a workbook and what is a worksheet? Workbook is a complete file. This whole file is a workbook. And this specific sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, sheet 4, the other worksheets. You can rename a worksheet also. How can you rename a worksheet? You could click in here, right click. You could say rename. This is the list of Excel tutorial. This is what I've made it. The other way around of renaming it, one is right click. The other way around is you double click on it. So when you rename a worksheet, so what happens is that you either what you do is that you right click and rename, or double click. You do a right click and you rename, or you do a double click. Now, there's one more function which I can tell you is that you see this is the column. Now, if I could say right click on this, there is an option which is called column width. It's telling us that it's 8.43. Now, I can increase this. You see, because my rename a worksheet, what I've written in here, it's not appearing completely over here. So either one way of reading it is I click in it here and I could see in the formula bar what is mentioned. Or what I could do is that I could resize my column. So one of the ways of resizing the column is you bring your cursor over here, you click and you drag it here. Now, the problem that happens is I did not want to open up this column that much, and it has opened up quite much. So the other way around, what I could do is that I could just bring in my mouse cursor here. I could double click on it. So it will auto adjust. It will auto adjust to the width of the text that is available. So what did I do? I said that double click on it. It's automatically going to get adjusted. You double click on this column bar and it's automatically going to get adjusted. You see this Excel sheet when I'm writing down something here, and if the same thing is written in here, you will see that there is a difference in the way it's appearing. It's quite zoomed in and it's quite zoomed out. So what you need to do is that you need to understand this is the feature, this is the function here, which is a zoom function. So I'm actually zooming it out to 200% so that it's easier to read. Now, so we have also understood that how do you rename a worksheet? We have understood that. Now we need to know what is a range of cells. What is the range of cells? So you already know this is a cell, this is a cell, this is a raylog, this is a cell, and this is the name of this cell. This is I9, this is I12, this is G18, this is J9, this is D9, etc. So these are the name of the cells. And when you select multiple cells, the way you need to select is you need to click and you need to hold the click button and you need to drag down your mouse. So what you're going to do is that you're going to be selecting the cells. Now, what is it giving you? You're going to be selecting the cells. Now, in the name box, the first cell that you selected is going to be available. Now, see, what happens is, if I select these cells, what is the name appearing? It's I9. I'll select these same cells with the first cell now. So it's appearing as J9. So the first cell that you select, that is what the range of cells name is actually appearing to be. Now, if you could just look at this specific name box when I'm selecting the cell, it says 2R into 1C. What does it say? 2 row into 1 column. Now see, it's 2 rows into 2 columns. See, 3 rows into 2 columns. Now what happens is, it's actually going to be what? It's going to be what? This 4 rows into 2 columns. Then you have got what? 7 rows into 2 columns, 10 rows into 2 columns. That's how it is. Then 10 rows into 3 columns. So it's actually telling you that how much data have you selected, what is the range of cell that you have selected. Now, the next function that I'm going to tell you is that filling up range of cells. What exactly do you mean by filling up range of cells? For example, if I write 1 here and I want that 2 should be written here, 3 should be written here. So what is the approach of doing it is that you write 1, you put your cursor to the end of this, to the corner of this cell, see, to the corner of this cell. So the button changes and you drag it down. Once you drag it down, this feature appears. You will click on it and you would say fill series. So automatically the series is filled up. Now see, if I'm filling up the other series, I'm writing down A. In fact, A is nothing. So I will write down, let's say, I'll say 21. Again, the series is going to be filled up. Now, if I need to write down a date, let's say, I can say 1st or 2nd March. What I can do is that I can select this cell, I can drag it down, and automatically the dates are going to be filled up. So it's actually filling a range of series, filling a series. Then maybe possible, let's say I write Monday. Now I want to continue writing the other days. So you see what happens is I can just drag it and automatically it's going to get updated. So it actually depends upon, in case if you have got a piece of information that has a established value that is defined already. So what you could probably do with it is that you could just drag them down and you will get the answer. I could even drag it sideways also and get my answer. So it's not necessary that you drag it down. You can drag it sideways also. See, this is 2nd March, 3rd March. I double click on it, the cell automatically gets adjusted.